Maomao is in a room at night and ponders while holding the painting, thinking that rumors normally take on a life of their own and divert from the truth. The next day, Hongyang sees Maomao off as she leaves to the north side of the palace. She observes her surroundings and realizes that they are still using the same resources as the people of old. Just then, Shisui surprises Maomao. She asks Maomao why she is here, but Maomao asks her the same question. Shisui then shows her a leaf with a caterpillar inside. Maomao thinks that this is abuse, but Shisui thinks that it's cute. Shisui tells Maomao she has only ever seen these types of bugs in books and it is a great experience for her. Maomao deduces that the bugs may have come from foreign trade. Shisui tells Maomao that they are nocturnal, and you won't see them fly, but they are pretty. Maomao figures that the bugs were around when the old lady danced. Shisui invites Maomao to come and see them at night, claiming that they are beautiful and light up at night. Maomao tries to figure out if the moths mate right after they merge. She thinks so, and Maomao asks her for help. Back at the palace, Maomao is seen talking to Jinchi. Later, at the ceremonial site, Jinchi and his men are trying to recreate what the granny had said happened 50 years ago. Maomao, with the help of Shisui and Xiaolan, capture butterflies and put them in a cage. Later on, at night, Jinchi is seen discussing a matter with the emperor. The following day, Jinchi and Gaoshun go over the plans for recreating the ceremonial site. Few days later, the banquet was held for the envoys. Maomao explains that it took place in the northern garden 50 years ago. She also goes on to say that men aren't normally allowed in this section. But special exceptions were given to high-ranking males as well as concubines. She also goes on to explain that everyone viewed the banquet from their carriage because it would not attract attention to the guests. Maomao explains that the guests are very pretty and have their tents open for the emperor to see. She then studies their demeanor, calling one confident and one shy, claiming that they are on par in terms of beauty with the high-ranking concubines. After the show starts, Maomao notices that they are bored. Maomao notices the uncanny resemblance between the two and likens them to Gaoshun's story with the mirrors. One of the twins then gets up and approaches the emperor, introducing herself and asking if she can be closer to speak to him since his brother is unavailable. This causes tension. Maomao then explains that the envoy's real goal is to get the emperor and his brother to receive love and political status. One of the twins, whose name is Ayla, is stopped by her sister and told to go back to the cart and enjoy the show. She apologizes, then leaves. Hongyang is furious but contains herself. Maomao deduces that the twins aren't interested in the play but only used it as a measuring stick. It is also explained that they sent the mirrors to the 4 concubines as provocation because the twins believe that no one is more beautiful than they are. Maomao then walks to a shed where she talks to Gaoshun. Maomao then takes the hand of a mysterious person. In the caravan, the twins explain that the music was made more colorful to match them, but the dancing is average. They also go on to mock the concubines as they are hidden in their carriages, and the moon fairy their grandfather spoke of wasn't impressive either. Ayla is scolded, telling her that they should talk about this in their room. Just then, Maomao appears on the side of the pathway under a tree. She then introduces Jinchi, who is dressed up as a woman. He puts on a spectacular dance, shocking the twins. Maomao theorizes that this is probably what their father saw 50 years ago. Suddenly, Jinchi disappears, and the twins demand to know who it was. However, Maomao quiets them and tells them that her name was Diana. Not sure if she pronounced it right. Maomao then leaves them pondering. As Maomao enters the Jade Pavilion, Gaoshun thinks they may have convinced the twins, with Maomao agreeing. She explains that she used dark clothes to make it look like she just appeared, as well as the moths to give a glow depicting the lady from the painting. Maomao goes on to explain that the crushed moth that was on Granny's dress attracted other moths to her and gave her a glowing appearance. She then states that it took a lot of planning to do, but Gaoshun and his men helped to pull everything off, calling it a powerful presentation. Just then, Jinchi comes into the room and is soaked. Maomao thanks him for swimming to the opposite side of the shore in a heavy outfit. With a successful plan, Jinchi explains that it is out of his hands now and is frustrated that his hair is wet. Maomao then gets a cloth and dries his hair. One of the twins is furious. The next day, Maomao is greeted by Xiaolan, who tells her that she is going to school. Maomao is happy that the school is a success. Bored, Maomao thinks about the situation with the poisoning. She tries to figure out who would conspire to bring the poison in. She then explains the houses of the high-ranking concubines. Lulan, who is considered the favorite since the previous emperor's reign. However, the current emperor doesn't visit her often. Lihua, who ranks second in terms of family power, but is maternally related to the emperor. However, after the death of her child, she receives love from the emperor. Li Shu and her family are quite ambitious, even sending their youngest daughter to the previous emperor, but he likes voluptuous women. Lastly, Gyokuyo receives the most attention from the emperor and is pregnant with the next child. Maomao notes that 2 attempts were made on Gyokuyo's life through poisoning. Maomao, however, is curious to find out how the concubine learned about poison. She then remembers Sui Rei, who hasn't been found yet, who tried to go after Jinchi. Tired from thinking about it, Maomao just leaves the situation alone to go for a walk. Suddenly, the ladies from the Crystal Pavilion spot Maomao and walk past her without saying a word. She notes that Shin is the only one that is not wearing any scented oils. Maomao finds it strange as the ladies in this pavilion always pick up on the latest trends. Later, Ailan comes down with a slight fever. Maomao tries to make medicine for her, but the other lady suggests that they carry her to the clinic, surprising Maomao. Maomao is surprised and didn't know such a place existed at the north side of the rear palace. Just then, a middle-aged lady takes Ailan to test her. Ailan, not wanting to get everyone else sick, is taken to a room with ventilation to isolate for a few days. As she leaves, she runs into Jinchi, who tries to figure out why she is there. Maomao tells him she was at the clinic. Maomao is impressed by the clinic, stating that it should be an official clinic, but Gaoshan tells her that only men can be doctors and are allowed to treat major injuries and make medicine. Maomao is curious about her situation, and Jinchi tells her that she is an exception, stating that they need to come up with a new way to get doctors so non-eunuchs can perform medicine. Maomao explains when the current emperor came to power, he banned the surgery that makes eunuchs and feels sorry for Jinchi because he was instated before the time. Jinchi, confused, leaves Maomao telling her not to let anyone know that she does medicine. Later, Ailan takes medicine that Maomao gave her, but is caught by the older servant lady.